Hello, Internet. How are we doing tonight? Decided to do a random stream because there's just too much crazy shit going on. 2025 is wild. It is certainly off to an MK Ultra start, wouldn't you say? Lots of crazy shit going on, and there's like 3 different things I want to talk about, and I'm not going to have time to. It'll probably just be a one-topic night. I got like an echo going on. What's going on here? Guess I'm just going to have to deal with it. Let me know if my audio's all right. Hope everybody had a fantastic new year. Prayers out for all the people that lost their lives on Bourbon Street in New Orleans. Horrible. Can't call it an accident, but I guess we're calling it a terrorist attack, right? Because that's what it was. And they're trying to say a jihadist did it. I don't know. Born in Texas, definitely got a Muslim name. I don't know. We're going to get into all of it. We're going to just go over what we know. And I'm going to try not to speculate too much because my tinfoil brain is going crazy. But we'll try to just keep it to what we know. You guys jump in the chat, add your tinfoil theories in there, and we'll get into a couple of them. And yeah, we'll just go over stuff. If you're here, give that like button a chat or give that like button a tap. Join the chat, say hi, all that good stuff. Share it with your friends, repost, all those things. And we'll just get right into it. We'll go over to Colin Rugg, and we'll just start off. I'm going to start from the beginning. We're going to talk about the 2 different attacks, the New Orleans one and then the Las Vegas Trump Tower CyberTruck one, which is the far more, not to be morbid, but far more interesting one to me. So, you know what? Maybe that's what it was. That's what it was. I just got my settings all messed up on my amp here. All right. Well, let's go over to Colin Rugg and see what he has to say. We're starting from the very beginning here. So this is just footage of the F-150 electric truck, which is also kind of interesting. Both these vehicles were electric vehicles. I don't know. This is him driving down like the main strip before he turns onto Bourbon Street, and there's the truck right there with the arrow, and you'll see him come up to the intersection, and he sees like the police sort of blocking the street off. Hope I don't have these issues with my internet all night. I got so many tabs pulled up. So, yeah, stuff's going to be going slow tonight, folks. I apologize. So here he is pulling into the intersection. You see the cops got the road blocked off, and he just makes a hard right and goes around him. There he goes. So right there, he ran over a bunch of people. And the aftermath of this is horrific. I'm sure you guys have seen it. And they go right after him. I'm sure you guys have seen the aftermath footage. I'm not going to pull up any of that because it's seriously just mangled bodies. And it's horrible. I think it was, 20 people? 20 people lost their lives, a few more injured. And after he gets there, I lose my audio on this, so I'll have to pull it up again. So after he gets there, he comes to a stop at this boom lift. Oops, I did stop sharing. So he drives down the street, plows down a bunch of people, comes up to this boom lift that's just, I don't know what it's doing in the street there, but that's where he stopped. And he gets out of the car, and he starts firing off rounds, and apparently hit a couple of officers. They weren't killed. I guess there were some injuries with the officers. Weren't killed, and then they lit him up. So this is the footage. It doesn't show him getting lit up. It's just sort of the audio, so hopefully I won't get kicked off of YouTube for this, but we'll play it.
What the fuck? The guy just fucking died!
So I'm surprised I didn't hear about this on New Year's Eve, because this is obviously over on the East Coast in the Eastern time zone. And I went to bed probably around midnight, 1 in the morning, and I didn't hear about this until I woke up the next morning. And yeah, obviously it's what everybody's been talking about since then. And then
What the fuck?
And then later on that day, you get the CyberTruck thing that happens, and it's just like, what the hell is going on? And later on that evening, on New Year's Day, there was a shooting in Brooklyn at some nightclub. But I think that was just like a gang shootout or something like that. I didn't go down that rabbit hole too much. Just that's sort of what it looked like to me. So I didn't even dig into it too much. If you guys have heard anything different from it, let me know. Also, Wally World, nice to see you. Anybody, if you're watching, drop something in the chat. Let me know you're there. Say hi. If you're watching over on X, let's see here. Yeah, looks like I'm live on X, live on Rumble, live on YouTube, so we're good. This is just a picture. Let me share this. Pull up, make it bigger. So this is the aftermath of the truck. You can see it's a white Ford F-150 electric vehicle, and you can see it's got a flagpole attached to the trailer hitch, and it's got a flag. The flag is not unfurled. It's tied up here. I wonder why. I mean, he obviously didn't have it tied up. I would imagine that he would have had it unfurled, so it's like blowing in the wind when he's driving, but he didn't really see it on that footage that I just showed. So maybe he forgot to untie it. Like, why would you have it on the pole tied up and not unfurled so everybody could see the flag? Because apparently it's an ISIS flag. And yeah, that's weird. Why is it tied up? Like, that's strange to me. Why would you put the ISIS flag on the truck and leave it tied up so nobody can see what the flag actually is until after they take it down and put it on the street? You can see in this footage, it's still got the crease marks in it in this picture. Like, if you guys have ever ordered a flag online, it comes in a small bag, and it's, folded up. And when you my flag that's been hanging up for a couple of years, you can kind of still see the wrinkles in it from when it was foiled up too. So I don't know, maybe I won't read too much into that, but kind of looks like a new flag. But like, where do you order an ISIS flag? Do you just go on Amazon and order an ISIS flag? Should I do that? Should I go to Amazon and search for an ISIS flag so I can get myself, so the feds can show up in my house? Here's the flag on the ground, and apparently he was flying it upside down. So people pointed this out. I guess this flag, you can see this is the top of the flagpole, and I guess, I don't know, I can't read Arabic, but I guess this is an ISIS flag and it's upside down. So Friend Club Vice President is upside down, huh? Okay, you believe. Pete Grabber, nice to see you. Yeah, it's just weird. Why was it tied up? Good to see you, Friend Club. Why was it tied up? And was it like, you didn't see it flapping around on that footage when he, turns onto the road? You didn't see the flag flying around. So did that mean it was tied up the whole time, or did they tie it up after he crashed for some reason? Here it is on the ground. You see journalists taking pictures of it. This looks like it's the daytime, so the next day. But yeah, ISIS flag zip tied to looks like a makeshift PVC pole or something like that. So also interesting. Looks like a new flag. You can see the creases on it. So let's share this. Actually, I have to come back to this because I lost the audio like I always do. So let me stop sharing really quick and go back to it. This guy's got a name that I probably won't be able to pronounce well, but I'll do my best for you. So his name is Shamsud-Din Jabbar, which, sounds like a Muslim name. And again, I'm not going to speculate. I probably will, but I'm going to try not to get too tinfoil about this whole thing. So this is from Colin Rogue. He says, just in New Orleans, attack suspect Shamsud-Din Jabbar intended to kill his family, but was concerned media attention wouldn't be focused on the war between believers and disbelievers. The FBI says Jabbar posted multiple videos online. Here are some of the new developments. Jabbar posted 5 videos on his Facebook account proclaiming his support for ISIS. He joined ISIS before the summer. He provided a will and testimony. Jabbar served in the army for 10 years and was deployed to Afghanistan in 2009. Authorities say Jabbar acted alone. So that's the other thing. They originally thought there was multiple suspects, and now they're saying that he was a lone wolf type thing. And 15 people are now deceased. I think that number has increased. But let's go to this video. This is the New Orleans police. I believe it's the New Orleans police, not the FBI. We're just giving a brief statement on it. It's about 1 minute long.
The FBI team and our law enforcement partners here are also reviewing hundreds of hours of surveillance and other video from both the French
Close some of these.
Quarter and other locations. As for a timeline, at this point, investigators believe Jabbar picked up the rented F-150 in Houston, Texas on December 30th.
Now, remember, they originally said that he drove it across the border, and that was soon retracted. The FBI, when they first came out, the lady said, we are not suspecting this to be a terrorist attack, which was soon, very soon corrected. After she said that, she looked like an idiot. Okay, we'll keep going. And again, yeah, they originally said that he came across the border with this truck, which was not true. He got it from Houston, and he got it online using an app that's like the Airbnb of car rentals, apparently. And strangely, him and the guy that got his CyberTruck in Las Vegas both used the same app, and they served at the same military base. How weird.
He then drove from Houston to New Orleans on the evening of the 31st, and he posted several videos to an online platform proclaiming his support for ISIS. There were 5 videos posted on Jabbar's Facebook account, which are time-stamped beginning at 1:29 a.m. and the last at 3:02 a.m. In the first video, Jabbar explains he originally planned to harm his family and friends, but was concerned the news headlines would not focus on the, quote, war between the believers and the disbelievers, end quote. Additionally, he stated he had joined ISIS before this summer. He also provided a will and testament.
Yep, that is correct, Friend Club, Fort Bragg. So lots of weird stuff going on at Fort Bragg, and we'll get into that as we go. So here's a picture of him. So, I mean, this doesn't even look like the same guy to me, but I guess it is. So this is from Anna J. She says, Shamsud, is that how you say his name is? Shamsud-Din Jabbar lived in a trailer park with goats and sheep next to a mosque. He fell into deep financial ruin and became radicalized for ISIS. I don't know if that's true. That's just what she said. But apparently, this is his. Hey, don't hate on the double wides, all right? I mean, I know a lot of good people live out of. Actually, not a lot, but I mean, there's some really nice double wides nowadays. So, and I mean, okay, so he had goats and chickens and stuff. So, I mean, that doesn't say anything. Well, okay, I won't make any jokes about Muslims and goats, but maybe it was just, and off-grid living, that kind of thing. Maybe ate well. I don't know. Whatever. That's what she says. So we'll keep going here. This is a clip that was floating around. Well, I guess this is the only video he had posted to his YouTube account, which is just him explaining, what he does with his business. I think it was a real estate business, and it's weird is he sort of volunteers information. He doesn't really need to volunteer, but he does it in this one video that he posted to his YouTube account. CCP supposedly over 1,000 ISIS-trained fighters in the U.S. That's what they're saying. Maybe Friend Club, Fort Bragg. Yep, maybe you just said that. Yeah, yep. Fort Bragg. Oh yeah, and the second Trump would-be assassin also visited Fort Bragg, like, I don't know, 100 times or something like that. So yeah, it's already getting weird, isn't it? So here's the video that he had on YouTube.
Good evening. I'm Shamsud-Din Jabbar, property manager with Blue Metal Properties and team lead at the Midas Group at Core Realty. I just want to say hello and let you know a little bit about me. So I'm born and raised in Beaumont, Texas, and now live in Houston. And I've been here all my life, with the exception of traveling for the military, where I spent 10 years as a human resources specialist and IT specialist, where I learned the meaning of great service and what it means to be responsive and take everything seriously.
You guys got audio on this? You guys in the chat, let me know if you got audio on this. I've been having issues when I switch from one tab to another. I lose audio for some reason. Let me know if you don't have audio.
Dotting I's and crossing T's to make sure that things go off without a hit. Good evening.
Okay, so I mean, I don't know. Kind of weird that he talks about. All right, cool. Audio's working. Thanks, Frank Club. It's kind of weird that he brought up his 10 years in the military, but I don't know. Somebody pointed that out. Make of it what you will. So this just came out like within the last couple of hours here. Okay, I did lose audio on this one. So let me stop sharing and go back to this. So just in the last few hours, I think it was Nick Sorter that originally posted this, but apparently for some reason, a journalist was allowed access to his home. Not even 48 hours after this attack, they have access to his home to go in with the news crew and look around. And so Nick Sorter says, a tour of the New Orleans attacker Jabbar's home. The New York Post reporter said she found a bomb-making station and a Quran open to a chilling passage about martyrdom. Something's off here. The attack happened literally yesterday. How is this being allowed? Yeah, so just compare this to what we knew about Crooks, the first would-be assassin that shot Trump in the ear. What do we know about him? Did we ever see his house? Did we ever get pictures of his house? We know next to nothing about him. And then within literally the next day, a New York Post reporter is allowed access to this guy's house. And she walks in and finds a bomb-making station with the Quran open to a passage about martyrdom. What? Okay, if you say so, I guess. So kind of weird. So we'll share this. Yeah, Friend Club, that's weird. Seems like they want to go over it with a fine-tooth comb before letting people in. Right. Friend Club, I smell an Israeli false flag. You said it, not me. Pete Grabber, nobody's believing this BS. Yeah, so, okay. It's not just me. Yeah, so this is just so weird. Let's see. I haven't even watched this video yet. I've only seen people sharing it, and I read what they posted. But, I mean, right off the bat, like, really? You got access to his house? So this will be the first time I'm watching this video. Let's see how organic this seems.
We are here inside the New Orleans terrorist home. You can see that it's been clearly destroyed, the door at least, from the FBI raid yesterday. But if we walk through the home, we see some signs of what he was up to. He had this work area here, lots of different chemicals splayed around, and different electronics. This is, again, a work setup. Left receipts, just very unkempt in here. If we go over here, actually, you can see the Department of Justice documents here, the search warrant, and the property that they recorded here There seems to be a lot of chemicals.
I saw sulfuric acid on
Again,
that list here.
just left in
Let's go
disarray.
back to this list. Let's see if we can see what's on this list here. Okay. So some of the things they got, filter paper with powder, white filter paper with powder, small sample of white filter paper with powder, box of screws, bottle of sulfuric acid. How many of you guys got a bottle of sulfuric acid in your house? Acetone, sample of acetone, white substance inside a bag labeled potassium nitrate. Sample of white substance inside bag labeled potassium nitrate. Small pistol primers box, burner with white residue, thermostat, stir stick, lab stand, blue crimping tool, and something powder on tools. Okay, let's keep going. Did the reporter just come from yoga class? Maybe she got a call while she was in yoga class and said, "Hey, come out to the mass murderer's house the next day after they searched it and found all this stuff." Yeah, this is totally not weird.
There seems to be a lot of chemicals. Again, just left in disarray. There's a bedroom back here, and
okay, I'm just gonna say that's not left in disarray. It's a dude's house. If he's a single dude, it's our houses are always in disarray. Just saying.
his what appears to be his collection of religious materials, his Qurans, an open Quran with a passage there.
Okay. All right. Are you guys getting like Trump documents from the Mar-a-Lago Hotel? Remember when they raided the Mar-a-Lago Hotel and then like spread stuff out and took a nice picture of it, and then turns out that's not how Trump left it. They just, did a picture setup. Those are the vibes I'm getting here. So they opened the Quran to this passage. Well, allegedly he had this passage in the Quran opened up and on display on his top shelf for everybody. Okay.
As well as even the Bible here, but mostly books on Islam, and his prayer rug just to the left of me here. And if we go back, there's another bedroom here.
In front of the dartboard.
You
Okay.
can see he left all these belongings, contact lenses, personal belongings, bathroom. This seems to be some sort of workspace, again, with other chemicals here. The light's still on. Some kind of station set up here.
Right. They didn't bag and tag all this stuff and take it away. They're just like, hey, before we do any of this, reporter from the New York Post, come in with your yoga pants on and do the search of the house on camera for everybody to see within 24 hours of when this attack actually happened, 48 hours, whatever. So, okay.
We're not really sure what that was for in, what we can assume was also a bedroom. You can see clothes left here, and just a sign that someone was here up until those last few moments when neighbors said he left just before the New Year's holiday, saying he was done with his lease. It was up and he was on his way to New Orleans where he would live there. Didn't take any furniture because he said his new home would be furnished. That's all we know so far.
Pete Grabber feels super staged like propaganda outlets in Latin America. I don't know. Seems off. The biggest thing is, why the hell did the New York Post get access to this guy's house the next day? And then they have the search warrant out with all the things they found sitting on top of the counter. They take, the camera shoots on it so you can see what's on the list of things they found. And then his workstation just still has a bunch of stuff on there that you would think would be taken away to evidence, but I'm not a cop. I don't know how they do this. So, okay. Just very strange to me. So, I'll keep going here. Probably lost audio again. Sure did. So, I mean, is that not weird to you guys? This just, here's access to the terrorist house the next day after he killed 15 to 20 people and opened fire on police, access to his house the next day. Meanwhile, we know nothing about the would-be Trump assassin, never saw pictures of his house. Nothing about that kid. And yeah, just like compare those two things. It's very, very strange to me. We'll keep going. So here's more of the press conference. Again, I believe this is the New Orleans police, not the FBI. We'll see what they have to say here. So this is from Nick's order. He says, Justin, the FBI says there is no definitive link between the CyberTruck bomber and the New Orleans attacker. No definitive link. Put that word definitive in there. No definitive link between the CyberTruck bomber and the New Orleans attacker. Keep in mind, this is the same FBI who originally said the New Orleans attacker was not terror, even though he had an ISIS flag in his possession. Anyone believe them? We're clearly going to have to do the investigation ourselves. Yeah, that's what it seemed like, isn't it? So I guess this is the FBI, not the New Orleans PD. CC Pino, Trump shooter's house was supposedly professionally scrubbed. Oh yeah, I remember hearing that. Why didn't a reporter get to go in there and show the professionally scrubbed house the next day after it happened? Okay, so here's the FBI talking about it, saying there's no link.
At this point, there is no definitive link between the attack here in New Orleans and the one in Las Vegas. And again, I'll preface everything with what I started with in the beginning, which was this is very early in an investigation like this. At this point, there is no.
Okay, so he uses the word definitive in there, and he just talks about how we're still very early in the investigation. All right, fair enough. No definitive link. Okay. Well, so this is from Inside Paper. Just in, suspect in Las Vegas explosion and New Orleans attack served at the same Army base. Sources tell Denver. Okay. I don't know. The CyberTruck to me looks cooler after it's been blown up. That's just me though. Okay, so this is from Partay Captain. He says, what's going on at Fort Bragg? He says, breaking, the suspects in yesterday's attack on Bourbon Street in New Orleans and Trump Tower in Las Vegas both served at Fort Bragg, the same military base that Ryan Routh visited over 100 times before attempting to take Donald Trump's life. Okay, also pretty interesting. What's going on at Fort Bragg, you guys? Let's go over to MJ Truth Ultra here. Actually, I got a couple of videos I'm going to play, so let me come back to this. So yeah, what the hell's going on at freaking Fort Bragg, you guys? Any MK Ultra type stuff going on over there? Trump show, okay. All right, yeah, we'll keep going here. Fort Bragg. The connections, it's just weird. Served on the same military base, ordered their truck from the same, what was the car rental app? They ordered it from the same car rental app. Can't remember the name of it. It was like Tulo or some weird name. Turo. That's what it was. So we'll go over to this is MJ Truth Ultra, and he's got a write up on this. So this is from him. This is not me getting my tinfoil hat on, but I'm definitely wearing a tinfoil hat. I should actually made one to wear tonight because yeah, my conspiracy theories are going off the charts right now. All right, MJ Truth Ultra, major update. Las Vegas attack and the New Orleans attack connected. Both men served at the same Army base and rented their vehicles from the same rental app. Both electric trucks, by the way. One pictured with Ukrainian nationalism shirt. It's pretty much confirmed this was a planned and coordinated attack, and there's likely more on the way. I wouldn't say it's confirmed, but there's definitely things to suggest that they were connected, but can't call it confirmed. But yeah, this is definitely looking weird. Shamsud-Din Jabbar and Matthew Livelsberger. I don't know how to say his name. I'm just going to say Livelsberger. I don't know how to pronounce it. Shamsud-Din Jabbar and Matthew Livelsberger reportedly served at Fort Bragg in North Carolina around 2012, possibly others, not sure yet. Both men used vehicles rented from the Turo car rental marketplace. Additionally, Matthew has one peculiar shirt from one of his social media posts. It is associated with Ukrainian nationalism. I think it's actually from the Azov battalion. I'm not positive on that though. The text around the symbol reads, I can't read that. That's in a different language. Yeah, I'm sorry. I can't read that. I don't speak that language. Which translate to, okay, thanks. I should have just kept reading. Glory to Ukraine, glory to the heroes in English. Okay. The possible Fort Bragg connection interests me more. Fort Bragg has a history of really bad things happening. Too much to explain in this thread, but what I'd like to point out is that the Fort Bragg, unlike other military installations, has an entire building dedicated for Muslim soldiers to worship, known as the Fort Bragg Mosque. Really? Holy shit. Okay. Am I the only one who feels we should not have these facilities on a U.S. military base? In God we trust, not Allah. Yeah, I think I'm with you there. So hopefully I still got audio. You guys let me know if I have audio on this. And let me know in the chat if you got audio on this.
We are also learning about connections between Livelsberger and the man accused of driving down Bourbon Street in New Orleans, purposely hitting people and firing shots into the crowd.
You guys got audio?
Were Army veterans, and sources tell Denver 7 investigates that both men served at the same military base at some point.
This morning, we have team coverage starting with Natalie Chuck in Colorado Springs. And Natalie, both men also rented trucks for the attacks from the service called Turo.
That's right. Good morning, Nicole and Anusha. Right now, we are coming off of a pretty uneventful evening here at what is believed to be the apartment complex belonging to that driver of the CyberTruck that exploded in Las Vegas. But now we are seeing some activity. We were all just asked to leave the area and move down the hill a couple of blocks. You can see law enforcement behind me actively blocking off Autumn Knoll Drive right behind us. A couple of blocks up and to the left is where the complex.
I should also just note, while it's fresh in my brain, there was an attack in Germany on Christmas Day that was pretty much the same thing. A guy mowed down a bunch of people in his vehicle, and I believe on New Year's Eve or New Year's Day, there was also like a dude that went after a bunch of people with a machete, and I don't know the details on it, but from my understanding, there was somebody that went after a bunch of people with a machete as well over in Germany. So Christmas Day attack, that was pretty much the exact same thing as this. Guy mowed down a bunch of people with his car, and then the machete attack on New Year's. CCP NBA All-Star Game in San Francisco this February is going to be a big target for them. Yeah, nobody cares about the NBA anymore, though, because all anybody ever does is do woke shit and try to shoot three-pointers. I'm just kidding. Yeah, the Bay Area is always, San Francisco is always a target. You know, you got the iconic Golden Gate Bridge, and it's San Francisco. But I mean, this is the only good thing about the nightlife and tourism is in the gutter for San Francisco. So there's not a lot of people walking around in the normal places you see tourists walking around. San Francisco's kind of a ghost town right now, unless you're a fentanyl addict.
Is that they are looking at. Originally, law enforcement just had a single set of units blocked off, but now, as you can see, it is that whole entire neighborhood. People are beginning to wake up as the sun starts to come up, people walking their dogs, and this is what they are waking up to on the second day of 2025. I want to give you a look at the footage from around 9 o'clock last night when law enforcement started creating a perimeter right here. The apartment in question, sources confirmed they believe belongs to that man, that driver of the Cybertruck, and that is just what investigators are honing in on here. We do not know or believe right now that investigators have actively gone in and searched that unit yet, but they have been monitoring this area all night long. We know that local and federal law enforcement agencies have boots on the ground here. A Colorado Springs police officer was just speaking with us earlier, originally saying we were going to have to leave the area at 7 o'clock. But as you can see, they had us do that a bit early. We also know that FBI and ATF agents were seen here last night, along with armored vehicles at the local police station that is just a few minutes away. Now, I want to give you a look at how far that CyberTruck traveled. One possible route from the address here in Colorado Springs to the Trump Hotel in Las Vegas can be seen on your screen. That's more than 800 miles. It's about a 12-hour drive. I did speak with a neighbor here who says she never noticed a Cybertruck in.
And you guys got a Cybertruck? Can a Cybertruck travel that far without recharging? I'm curious. That's pretty far. I don't think it can. You would have had to stop somewhere to recharge it, right? So just interesting.
In the area, she says it's something that typically would stick out. And again, like you mentioned earlier, those trucks, both this truck, this Cybertruck, and the truck involved in the New Orleans attack are believed to have been rented from an app called Turo that is used to rent out personal cars. Turo issuing a statement last night saying nothing was flagged on either of the suspects' accounts when they rented these cars that would cause them to question any sort of security threat. But of course, we are hoping to learn more about all of that today. We are expecting an update from law enforcement at some point today here in Colorado Springs.
All right. Then, this is also from MK Truth Ultra. It says, unlike other military installations, Fort Bragg offers an entire building for Muslim soldiers to worship. The chapel Annex 2, otherwise known as the Fort Bragg Mosque, has been designated as a place for Muslims at Fort Bragg to worship. The facility is open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, caters to approximately 200 soldiers who appreciate Islam. Okay. I was stationed in Germany, and there was nowhere to pray. I had to go off post, says Maj Wasu Adekunle, U.S. Army Forces Command Headquarters, G8 Directorate. I don't know what that means. I'm not in the service. Fort Bragg has a freaking mosque. Okay, so here's the shirt the dude was wearing, and yeah, I recognize this logo, but this is isn't this the Azov Battalion like symbol that they wear? One of them. So he says it translates to glory to Ukraine, glory to the heroes. Okay. All right. So one guy's a Muslim, one guy who served on the same base is I'm not saying he is Ukrainian, but so the second Trump assassin, he was all hardcore Ukrainian too. He actually went to Ukraine. Okay, this keeps getting weirder, man. The other would-be Trump assassin, the second Trump assassin who allegedly visited Fort Bragg like 100 times. He was also super, Slava Ukraine, Adam Kinzinger. Like, what the hell? Shit just keeps getting weirder. All right, so this is the guy, Matthew Livelsberger. Okay, I guess I could pronounce it all of a sudden. Matthew Livelsberger, 37, identified as the driver of the Cybertruck that exploded in Las Vegas, is listed on LinkedIn as an operation director and intelligence manager with special forces experience. Like, so why the hell would this special forces guy, wasn't he a Green Beret, with operations director and intelligence manager, rents a Cybertruck, drives it from Colorado Springs to the Trump Hotel, pulls in, 15 seconds later, detonates a really shittily made IED, but not before offing himself with a Desert Eagle of all firearms, a giant ass Desert Eagle, Who the hell carries a Desert Eagle? Desert Eagle is one of those novelty guns that, I mean, I fired one. Or did I fire? No, it was a Desert Eagle. Yeah, I fired a Desert Eagle and I never want to fire one again. Actually, that was one of the first firearms I ever fired. And it was so stupid. I did it without ear protection. It was so dumb. But it's like one of those novelty guns that you break out just to be like, hey, check it out. You know, you want to fire the Desert Eagle. You don't carry one around. And if you're going to freaking off yourself, why are you going to do it with like the most giant hand cannon there is out there? Oh, what the hell? It's like it's a lot like Rick Grimes' gun from The Walking Dead, the Colt Python. It's giant. It's just like, why? Of all firearms, why would you do this? So here's a picture of Matthew Livelsberger. Looks like it's his LinkedIn profile. This is his bio. Matt Livelsberger, Operations Director, Intelligence Manager, Remote Autonomous Systems. I'm sorry, what? You mean like self-driving vehicles? Like the CyberTruck? He has experience with remote autonomous systems? Okay. Remember, he shot himself in the head before. Okay. I was on a space last night and Clint Russell got into it with another person on there because he just had to throw it out there. You know, I'm not trying to get too tinfoily, but it's been thrown out there that like, hey, self-driving vehicle. Guy shot himself in the head with a Desert Eagle. Would it be so hard to put a dead body in the self-driving vehicle, put the destination in, and then have the bomb on a timer, and then, you know, this guy's your patsy? I'm not saying that's what happened, but with how crazy shit has been lately, I'm not going to rule anything out. So Matt Livelsberger, Operations Director, Intelligence Manager, Remote Autonomous Systems, SUAS, Special Forces Green Beret. So clearly he knows how to make a bomb too. And he made a rinky-dink ass bomb out of fireworks and freaking whatever else and puts it in the back of a Cybertruck where the panels are bulletproof. Like, why? What was this? And you guys, if you guys see the thumbnail for this episode, it's the burning Cybertruck right next to the Trump name on the Trump Hotel right there. And it's just like, symbolism is everything, right? It's just, I'm not trying to get too tinfoily, guys. I'm not trying to. All right, we'll keep going here. So again, this is the picture of, I already went over that. It's the picture. It says it's the him in the Ukrainian T-shirt thing. So this is also interesting here. So this is from Nick's order. He says, just in, the alleged Las Vegas Cybertruck bomber reached out to ex-girlfriend, excited about renting a Cybertruck, per the Gazette. The text says, I rented a Tesla Cybertruck. It's the shit. I feel like Batman or Halo. He texted one of his ex-girlfriends on Sunday. One of his ex-girlfriends. He also sent her photos and music videos in the truck. And when she asked how fast it is, Livelsberger responded, ungodly. She described Livelsberger's text as playful, almost like a kid with a new toy. What the F? Yeah, what the F? So this is him with that girl. I mean, he's a fit dude, obviously ex-Green Beret. Dude's a freaking total Chad. I mean, look at him, you know, handsome fella, built well. So Top's text says something past couple of years. How was Germany? He says, oh, okay. It's been wild. So much learning and fun. I rented a Tesla Cybertruck. It's the shit. I'm building drones in my new position. You would love it. You had to throw the drone angle in there too? So he's been building drones? Oh, God. After the whole last week's most current thing? Oh, geez. What the heck is going on? Feral Hillbilly, it's a 50 cal. I know. The Desert Eagle is a giant freaking Rick Grimes, the Colt Python. Isn't that a 45? I don't know. It's a big gun. But yeah, the Desert Eagle it's a absolute hand cannon, and I did not enjoy firing it when I did. I'm building drones in my new position. You would love it. Oh God. Okay, just had to throw that angle in there. Here's pictures of the CyberTruck that he rented. He says, I feel like Batman or Halo. I don't know if it's cool or I should bully you about it. How fast is it? He says, ungodly. Okay. It matches my Kobe 2 shoes I had when I was a little kid. It's Kobe's final, most powerful form. Did you really have shoes like that, you nerd? How's your mom doing? Yeah, Google them. She's still the same, no change. So lame. I bet you looked so cute in those. Did you keep them? Nah, they were stinky. Does this sound like a guy that's about to go drive to the Trump Hotel with the shittiest made IED ever in a Cybertruck that he's super stoked about, off himself with the Desert Eagle, and then have his IED on some sort of time delay? This stinks to high heaven, you guys. What the heck is going on here? What the heck is going on? They positively ID'd him because his body was burned to a crisp, but 9/11 vibes, his ID, his credentials survived. They weren't burned to smithereens, but his body was so burned to smithereens that they couldn't positively identify him until way later. Okay. Nothing strange at all. Yeah, nothing strange at all. Jeez, what the hell is going on, man? All right, let's keep going here. Go over to Colin Rugg. All right, this is a video, so I'm gonna stop sharing, go back to it. What the hell, you guys? Just are you guys as tinfoily as me? I'm not trying to, I don't want to turn everything into a conspiracy, but it's just like these last 5 years now. I mean, isn't it crazy that COVID, like 5 years ago, 2019, around December, the beginning of, January 2020, we started hearing about the coronavirus. Remember, it was called the coronavirus in the beginning. We started hearing rumblings about it right around this time. And then February, we started hearing about it in America, and then March, shutdowns. Can't believe it. 5 freaking years ago. Think about all the crazy shit that's happened in these last 5 years. It's like, I try not to get too tinfoily, but I mean, I can't help it. I can't help it, you guys. Are you guys up there with me? It's just, shit's insane. All right, we'll go over to Colin Rugg. So he says, just in, family of the accused Trump hotel bomber Matthew Livelsberger says he was a big Trump supporter, questions the incident. Odd. The uncle of Livelsberger told The Independent that he is confused by the explosion because his nephew could rig a bomb to blow up half the hotel if he really wanted to do damage. He used to have all patriotic stuff on Facebook. He was 100% loving the country. He loved Trump. And he was always very, very patriotic soldier, a patriotic American. It's one of those reasons he was in special forces for so many years. It wasn't just one tour of duty. Matt was a very skilled warrior, and he would be able to make it if he was, and he would be able to make it if it was him. And if he did this, he wouldn't have been able to make more. He would have been able to make a more sophisticated explosive than using propane tanks and camping fuel. Yeah, what the? Some of it doesn't make sense when he had all the skills and the ability to do something more, let's say, efficient. His skills were enormous from what he had been taught in the military. He could have fashioned a bomb that would have obliterated half of the hotel if he seriously wanted to hurt others. That's from his uncle. So it's like even his uncle's like, yeah, what the hell? This stinks to high heaven. Like, and you saw the text messages. He's all excited about the Cybertruck. He seems, very happy-go-lucky. He's fit. Like, he seems to be a happy guy. And like, none of this makes sense to me. I don't know. Makes sense to you guys? It's just this is footage of the Cybertruck driving up to the hotel. You can see it in the reflection. You'll see in this video.
The Cybertruck highlighted there. So through extensive surveillance video, we were able to track him leaving there, and we know that he went to several different places along Las Vegas Boulevard, and he spent some time in a parking lot of a business near Flamingo and Las Vegas Boulevard. We didn't have a video of the truck pulling back onto Las Vegas Boulevard from the sands. See that there? That's north on the boulevard from Sands at 8:39, where he then immediately heads to the Trump Hotel, pulls into the valet area, and as of course you all know, the explosion occurs within 17 seconds.
So, it's weird to me. Somebody else pointed this out. You guys notice the vehicle parked in front of the Cybertruck? A white Ford F-150. It's just weird. Just weird, you guys. I don't know if it's an electric Ford F-150, but it's the same truck that the New Orleans mass murderer used. It's just weird.
17 seconds of his arrival at the valet. There's some additional investigative updates that are going to be provided to you by a couple of the other speakers here.
Propane tanks, camping stoves, and fireworks. This dude probably had access to C4, Like, if you know you're going to do this, I mean, yeah, they would notice the C4 is missing, but he could probably get away with it for a couple of days. So if you know you're going to go, freaking suicide bomb yourself, like, none of this makes any sense, you guys. I don't freaking get it. Okay, we'll keep going. So this is from Alex Lace. I'm going to stop sharing, go back to it. It doesn't make any sense. None of this makes any sense, you guys. And I feel like this is going to be another one of those situations where, none of it makes sense and we're not going to know anything. And then it's just, everything's going to keep going. We'll start talking about something else next week. Start talking about the next current thing that's going on. Like, it's so frustrating. It's so frustrating. Like, you never know what's real. It's crazy making is what it is. So this is from Alec Lace. He says, breaking, Matthew Livelsberger has been identified as the person responsible for detonating the Cybertruck in front of the Trump Tower in Las Vegas. Matt is allegedly seen here in the video posted by his wife, Sarah, whose Facebook account clearly shows her hatred for Donald Trump. I think that was his wife. Maybe it was one of his ex-girlfriends. So let's just watch the video really quick.
Posted up, midnight red-eye flight. Sarah Beans. No Matty B.
Trying not to be weird.
Not to be weird.
Not allowed to be weird or embarrass him. I can't do that.
We're judging people in front of the walking thing where you can choose to walk, you can choose to stand still, you can choose to
pick a side, people. Pick a side.
You can walk aside it if you want some exercise and just be devoid of technology if you choose.
Okay, it's just a weird video. Keep going. All right, there's another video. So, all right, so this is more from the FBI, more from their press conference, telling us a bunch of nothing. But we'll go over to Nick Sorter here, and he says, breaking, Las Vegas police say the Trump Cybertruck bomber sustained a gunshot wound to the head prior to the detonation of the truck. They've also not been able to positively ID his body, and he's too badly charred. In another coincidence, both Livelsberger and the New Orleans attacker served in Afghanistan in 2009. Another thing in common. So they rented their car from using the same app. They both served out of the same military base, Fort Bragg. They both drove electric trucks. That's just nothing. That's just a coincidence, I'm sure. Both served in Afghanistan. Wasn't there something else they had in common as well? So, okay, that's just weird. All right, we'll go over to Nick Sorter. Watch this clip of the. Well, this is the Las Vegas PD talking this time. Let's see what they have to say. Again, why a Desert Eagle? That's like one of the weirdest things to me.
Now, further complicating this identification of this individual, we also discovered through the coroner's office that the individual had sustained a gunshot wound to the head prior to the detonation of the vehicle. One of the handguns was found at his feet inside of the vehicle. Now, further
Okay. He shot himself with the Desert Eagle before the really crappy made IED went off. A guy that seemed to have no mental issues, seemed to be happy-go-lucky, rigged up a really crappy made bomb when he knew how to make much more powerful bombs, probably had access to the materials to do it. And before he blew himself up, why would you even off yourself before blowing up the truck? You're not going to make it. So I don't know, you guys. This is just freaking bizarre to me. All right, let's go over to Robbie Starbuck. There's more from the Las Vegas PD. So Robbie Starbuck here. Robbie says, so the Green Beret identified as the Vegas truck bomber was burnt beyond recognition and his weapons were disfigured, but the military ID was intact. What luck? Oh, out of all of the guns, he shot himself with a Desert Eagle. Does this make any sense to you? Right? Okay. Out of all the guns, you know what? Let's go with the Desert Eagle this time. I mean, I'm sure he had lots of firearms. You know, if he's a Green Beret, yeah, let's go with the Desert Eagle. That'll be fun. Just okay. So more from the Las Vegas PD.
I remind you that the subject inside wasn't able to be removed for a very long period of time because he was burnt beyond recognition. And so as we continue to move through this, I'm going to talk a little bit about his identity and what we believe. But I would like to highlight a couple of things that the teams found inside of the CyberTruck that are useful to the investigation. And that.
Okay, you keep your ID in your pocket, right? Like, I guess maybe he could have taken it out of his pocket and put it on the seat next to him. But if it's in your pocket and your body is burnt beyond recognition, your ID is not going to survive, along with any credit cards or whatever else. So did he take his credentials out of his pocket, take his credentials out of his wallet, and then put his wallet on the seat next to him or something like that? How did that survive and his body was burnt beyond recognition?
That first and foremost is a military identification.
So you can see it's scorched right there. It says he's a uniformed services member of the Army. Okay.
We also found a passport.
Okay. I thought it was just the military ID, but they found his passport too. Remember 9/11? Okay. Passport survived, you guys.
We found a Desert Eagle 50 caliber semi-automatic pistol. And if you'll notice on a lot of these guns that we're going to talk about here, they're almost just burnt beyond recognition as well.
Oh, so he had a rifle in there too. It looks like an AR. Okay.
There's a SLR model B30 semi-automatic firearm. Number of fireworks that were still in the vehicle that had to be removed. Notably, we found an iPhone and a smartwatch And then several credit cards were also in the name of our subject.
Sure thing, you guys. Nothing to see here. Oh boy. Am I weird? Am I weird for thinking that like none of this makes any sense and my tinfoil brain's going crazy? Or are you guys with me too? I mean, sometimes I feel like I'm going crazy. Like, am I just too skeptical of police, the FBI, CIA, official narratives? Or there's none of this making any sense to you guys either? Because it's just, what the hell? Brian Marie, nice to see you. Yeah, like none of this freaking makes any sense. All right, we'll keep going. Let's go over to Nick Sorter again. So Nick Sorter says, Elon Musk has deployed a team from Tesla to attempt to recover in-cabin video footage of the Cybertruck per Las Vegas authorities. Once again, doing the FBI's job for them. In-cabin video is not remotely accessible by Tesla without the owner specifically enabling data sharing, which is why they must physically access the truck. This news comes shortly after it was revealed that the alleged bomber supposedly shot himself prior to detonation. Yeah, if they can recover that footage of him actually driving up and not, the Cybertruck driving up by himself with him already dead in the driver's seat. I didn't say it. Somebody else did. Like you guys remember, the Cybertruck can drive itself. I'm not saying that's what happened, but nothing makes any sense. Okay, let's go over to the video here. Let's see. I mean, I don't even know what this video is going to say because I already read you what Nick Sorter said about it here, but we'll watch the video anyway. It's like 2 minutes long.
Was in that vehicle sort of vented out and up, but it didn't even
I'm sorry, the Cybertruck looks cooler after it's been blown up.
damage the glass doors at the Trump. So I'm not sure what that means. I also know that there's a number of unexploded pieces of the things that he had inside of that vehicle. And so I just don't think that it was done as well as he was expecting it to be done. But go ahead.
Sofia Rodriguez with Univision Vegas. I was wondering, were you able to recover the video from the Cybertruck or was that destructive?
So the question is, are we able to recover the video from the Cybertruck? And many of you may know that those Cybertrucks contain a tremendous number of cameras. Mr. Musk has sent out a number of his folks that will be arriving here this afternoon with the intent to try to capture.
So Pete Graber over on X say, no, you're not weird. Nobody believes the lies anymore. Straight Line 11 over on YouTube. No, you're not weird. All is Psyop. Anyone that can't see that is weird. Okay, thanks. You guys make me feel a little bit better.
Sure, the part of that captured all of the video from inside of the truck. Sir?
Just quickly, you had mentioned a number of the components in the back of the truck that did not go off. Maybe this is a better suited question for ATF, but when it comes to the rudimentary nature of the bomb, I think we mostly think of a bomb that is connected. This seems like individual kind of incendiary and combustible components put together. Can you speak to how you think this is a bomb, or was it just several pieces of things that might blow up and might explode that were just lit and gone off at the same time?
Yeah, I'll tell you, it does appear that it was, I just want to be careful with my language here, but the level of sophistication is not what we would expect from an individual with this type of military experience. That most of the materials inside that Tesla were fuel to help fuel a greater explosion. But it's too early to answer any question is if there was sophisticated connectivity to those components to make it ignite in the way that it did.
Okay. All right. So even the cops are like, yeah, this is weird. Why did he rig up this janky ass bomb instead of making something that would do serious damage? I mean, unless you're just, but if he's a giant Trump supporter, why would he want to do this in front of the Trump Hotel in a Cybertruck of all vehicles? Okay. We'll keep going here. So right, we'll go over to cultural husbandry. So he says, oops. So I need to share it on screen. Oh, well, just throw it up there anyway. So this is from Cultural Husbandry over on X. And he says, we have a major problem. Matthew Livelsberger, aka Matt Berg, changed his signal safety number just before the explosion. And then his photo and safety number changed after the explosion. Okay, you guys that use Signal a lot, what does that mean? Like, I don't really know what that means. I barely use Signal at all. I rarely use Signal. Matthew Livelsberger, aka Matt Berg, changed his Signal safety number just before the explosion, and then his photo and safety number changed after the explosion. Huh. He's got some screenshots here. So Sunday, December 9th, your safety number with Matt has changed. And then today, Matt Berg changed their profile name to Matt. Your safety number with Matt has changed. So that's 3 separate notifications, it looks like. Okay. So I guess that's somebody that's on Signal with him. Okay, and there's like a blurred out encrypted message from Signal. Okay, this one says disregard. Should have just been 1. It's on December 29th. Okay, there's just another picture. Safety signal number with Matt has changed. And then it says Matt Berg changed their profile name to Matt. Your safety number with Matt has changed. Okay, so there's clearly somebody that's an associate of his on Signal. So what does that mean, you guys? Like, if you have a friend that you regularly communicate with on Signal, are these the notifications you get on your end if they change something within their profile? Like, I don't really know what that means. Okay. All right. So that's like kind of all we know, folks. Like, unless there's been some other updates on the situation, that's kind of all we know about both of these two things that went down on New Year's. Lots of unanswered questions, lots of things that don't seem to make any sense, lots of weirdness, lots of symbolism. Whole thing's weird, lots of odd connections between the two. I mean, I don't even want to say terrorists. The two, yeah, I mean, I guess you have to. The two terrorists. Okay. Well, I'll end this with some tinfoil. We'll go to Whitney Webb. All right. So she kind of says the that term saying the quiet part out loud is sort of overused. So she just says something that, like, I think many of us are kind of thinking in the back of our brains. So this sort of ties into like the censorship stuff that's going on X right now. And a lot of you guys some of you might say it's not censorship, they're just being demonetized. No, they're not just being demonetized. So there's 2 different types of monetization on X. There's ad revenue, so you can apply for ad revenue and then you can get monetized. And that's what I am. And then there's subscriptions. You can apply for subscriptions. That means people can choose to subscribe to your account, and you could do like subscriber only content and stuff like that if you want. I've been waiting almost 2 years to get my subscriptions application approved. It still says pending review, and it hasn't been approved yet. So those are 2 different ways you can be monetized on Twitter: ad revenue and then subscriptions. Subscriptions, individuals are subscribing to your content. So people are having their ad revenue taken away. Then their subscribers who have already paid are being taken away. And then they're having their check mark removed. And some of the people are having their check mark removed when they've already paid for the entire year. So that's technically stealing. But when you get your check mark removed, you are now limited in reach. You don't get boosted as much as people with check marks. You have a character limit restriction on how much text you can type. It's like 280 characters or something like that. And you can't live stream. Can't use Grok, but having your character limit restricted and then having live streams restricted, that is censorship right there. And then removing people's subscriptions, that's not really cool either, because that's not being like, you don't have a right to make money on this platform type thing. That's taking away ad revenue. All right, fine. Even though I don't agree with that argument either, if people want to put ads on your content, even if it's racist or anti-Semitic or whatever, like advertisers can choose to put their ads on that content. So, but we'll say, okay, fine. You don't have a right to make ad revenue on this platform. But subscribers, those are people that aren't giving X money. Those are people that are want to directly fund the people that they appreciate. So that's just super shady to me. It's a form of punishment. It's a form of making an example of people like, hey, like that's the ultimate way to get people to self-censor. We learned this from YouTube. If you don't say the right things, if you say things that are out of bounds, if you say things about certain nations, they're going to take your ad revenue away as a warning to others. Like, don't talk about these certain things or we're going to take your money away. It's the ultimate form of censorship. And then the next day they say, hey, we're going to roll out X payments, like a form of banking. So like Elon wants to make X the everything app. I want you to do your banking through there. So there's rumors of an X phone. Like, imagine if you invest heavily in X and you have so many things tied up in X, including a lot of your money. And then all of a sudden you're like, nope, you said the wrong thing. We're going to take away your ability to pay through this platform, like how people have been debanked, like Alex Jones was debanked. Nick Fuentes was debanked. He's not allowed to use payment processors. He's not allowed to use Chase, Wells Fargo, Bank of America. He's not allowed to use PayPal, Zelle, Cash App, any of that stuff. He has to go like old school checks, like mail him a check. Like, fine, don't call it censorship. Call it whatever you want, but that's super shady. But when you remove somebody's check mark and you remove their ability to live stream on your platform, that is 100% a form of censorship. And then it's taken a step further because there's a whole bunch of accounts, a bunch of the groypers who agree with them or not, that they were straight kicked off the platform. You can go ahead, you could find their opinions horrific. You can think that they're awful people. You can think they're racist, anti-Semites, whatever. Even you go way back to Noam Chomsky. You're only a free speech advocate. You're only against censorship if you argue for the people you find deplorable. You argue for their rights to say things. If you're advocating, oh, good, they're off this platform, they had horrible views that I found distasteful, well, you're pro-censorship. Anyway, that whole rant was because I wanted to preface what Whitney Webb says here. So Elon was getting wrecked on the H-1B visa stuff, right? And people were criticizing him heavily about the whole H-1B visa thing. And then, hey, a bunch of people that were critical of him started getting suspended. But all those people that got suspended only had one thing in common. They were, to put it mildly, critical of Israel. Some were straight up like over the top. I mean, there's no need to be, that hard in the paint about the Israel stuff, but they were, and it's free speech. There's no such thing as hate speech. Hate speech is free speech. Racism is free speech. Anti-Semitism is free speech. All of it's free speech. You can find it distasteful. You can disagree with it. You can wish they would shut up all you want, but that's what the block button's for. That's what the mute button's for. To cheer when they're getting kicked off the platform, that means you're pro-censorship. Anyway, so the H-1B visa stuff happens. People are critical of Elon, and then all the people that start getting their check mark removed, demonetized, having their subscriptions removed, they all had one thing in common. All of them were anti-Israel people. Very weird. Not other people that say equally as horrible things about different stuff. And then after all this stuff happens, Elon decides to be like, look how based I am. And he changes his PFP to a freaking, a 10-year-old meme of Pepe the Frog, Kikis Maximus, whatever it was. And he did that for a day to be like, look how based I am. And then he starts talking about free Tommy Robinson. If you guys don't know who Tommy Robinson is, he's like the Nick Fuentes of the UK, except they have one thing that they don't agree on. One thing, like Tommy Robinson is pretty much a white nationalist. And Elon's going hard in the paint for him, like straight up hard in the paint, saying like free Tommy Robinson, all this stuff. And I mean, I completely agree with all that stuff. Not Tommy Robinson. I agree with he's been locked up. He's been locked up for his opinions in the UK, which is insane. And there's these things that have been coming out in the last day or two about all these different underage girls that were raped in the UK. And Tommy Robinson has been talking about this stuff for days, or for years, actually. And that's been uncovered. And yeah, all that stuff's horrific. But him and Tommy Robinson and Nick Fuentes are basically the same people. And Nick Fuentes, well, his check mark wasn't removed. He actually didn't have one already. But all the Groypers, which are Nick Fuentes' like fan club, basically, they were all kicked off the platform. And now Elon Musk changed his PFP to the Pepe the Frog thing. And then he's like, look, free Tommy Robinson, all this stuff. Meanwhile, he's like censoring a bunch of people. And at the same time, he's calling out censorship on YouTube, which is just, it's super weird. He's just like, yeah, everybody stopped talking about that H-1B visa stuff because I was getting ratioed to oblivion and everybody hated me. Look how based I am. Free Tommy Robinson. Look at what's going on over here in the UK. Anyway, I go off on that rant because Whitney Webb writes this. An imaginary scenario. Elon Musk. Oh no, the people I've been manipulating into liking me through video game posts and anti-DEI tweets don't like me anymore because I revealed my true political views that they don't actually like. 2 days later, Musk. I'm a super based Ultra Pepe meme again, guys, and I'm going to tweet about how I'm a hardcore I'm going to tweet about how I'm a hardcore Path of Exile player. 2 days later, Musk. Oh no, it's not working anymore. Time to call up the Pentagon, which I contract for, and ask for backup. CyberTruck explodes, courtesy, allegedly, of an active duty U.S. Special Forces guy. Musk, behold, my Cybertruck is terror-proof. I'll tweet nonstop about Tommy Robinson and boost accounts claiming that the recent false flag terror attacks were caused by Muslim immigrants. See, I think some immigrants are bad, you guys. Even though no Muslim immigrants were involved in the Al-Qaeda and ISIS are run by the same parts of the U.S. national security state I work for. So she went full tinfoil, and I'm not saying I agree with her. And she follows this up with, I clearly framed this as imaginary. It is merely all speculative thought. It is merely all a speculative thought exercise, and it is meant to point out how easily people can forget recent events in the age of social media and quickly be sucked into and manipulated by new narratives. I don't think this necessarily happened, but very few people in alternative media are regurgitating obvious BS about Al-Qaeda and ISIS somehow being not U.S. proxies, and now have lost all the ability to even consider cui bono with dealing with the world's richest and most powerful people. So, if you guys don't know who Whitney Webb is, she is like the fountain of wisdom when it comes to all things tinfoil. I don't mean that in a derogatory way either, because she is like the, the conspiracy guy with the strings on the wall connecting dots. Well, that's basically what her entire book, One Nation Under Blackmail, Volume 1 and Volume 2 are. They're connecting all the dots. If you read that book, you have to take notes. You almost have to do the, put the guy's picture up, write all the things, and then all his associates and start connecting strings, because that's what the book does. It's a history of intelligence agencies and key players and super shady shit that's been done, and then it gets into the Epstein stuff, the blackmail, bribery, all that stuff. So Whitney Webb, that's who she is. And, well, I mean, she really laid it out there, but she said, I clearly framed this as imaginary. But, I mean, that sure does tie everything up in a nice, neat little bow, doesn't it? So, I don't know. Nothing makes sense, you guys. And everything is weird. And I don't know what to believe because everything is fake and gay. So, yeah, that's pretty much it. That is, I think that's all I got for tonight. So, hope you guys enjoyed the show. I'm glad you guys hung out. Starlight 11, Pete Grabber, Brianne Marie, Nibiru. Nice to see you, dude. Yeah, Ruben. Cool. Nice to see you, dude. Feral Hillbilly, CC Pino, Wally World. That's all you guys. Friend Club. Princess Taco Bell. Hey, I didn't even see you in there. All right, cool. Nice to see you. All right, I think I got all you guys. Wally World, as always. All right, folks. It has been fun. I will be back on Sunday. I might have a guest. I don't know. I'm still working on it. But I'll be back on Sunday for sure. I'm going to try to be doing my regular Sunday show again. I apologize with the inconsistency of my show. But, yeah, there's lots of stuff going on. Kind of. Not really. More like stuff going on in my head. So, all right. Thank you, everybody, for joining me. Hope you enjoyed the show. Thank you for hanging out in the chat. Give that like button a tap if you would. I would much appreciate it. But before we get out of here, you know how we do it. We got to tell a joke from the greatest book ever written, The Truth About Chuck Norris. Let's see. What do we have tonight? All right. Okay. All right. Okay. Chuck Norris joke of the evening. I don't know if it's going to be funny. It might be. It might not. Here it is. Chuck Norris killed the Pope with a roundhouse kick to the chest after an argument over who had a better beard, Jesus or Chuck Norris. And on that note, stay CaliBased.